Hey guys, how's it going? Rusty here. I've had a few questions about a KTS. They sell them at the store that I work at. It's a pretty decent mod. It's not horrible. It's not the best in the world, but it gets the job done. I've had a couple of people ask me questions about it, and I've got a guy asked me to do a video on it as well. Okay, so it's a telescopic tube. Oh, there's a glare on there. Sorry about that. That's it, pretty much in 18350 mode. We've got a 650 battery here. You can compare it to that. It's a little bit bigger. They're a little bit bigger because it has the side button on it. It's not a bottom switch, but it's a side button switch. If you have a button top battery, it'd be maybe somewhere around there. Okay. It is a telescoping tube, so you can undo it all the way up to 18650, which is, show you how big with an 18650 in it. That's the only battery that I have right now. I've gotten rid of most of the other ones that I have. I prefer 18650s over pretty much everything, and that's it. And then here's an old 18650 for comparison. One thing that I like to do is use it with a kick, but the way it comes, it will not work with an 18650 in a kick. So I actually got an extra extension tube piece. I mean, and now I have two of them. So what I do is I have to take this part of the tube out. Put this one on. Then I'll put the telescopic portion back on. And then the kick, this is a Sigelli kick, which is a clone, but it goes from, hang on just a second. Yeah, it goes from 5 watts up to 12 watts. And on this dial here, there is 2 pips, like kind of, I don't know if I can get in there enough to where you can see them. Well, I did there for a second. See if the zoom will work. You can see the two little tiny pips on the side of one of those slots. That's your indicator, and you kind of line those up in between where you want to go, and you line it up kind of corresponding to the pin. It's got some markings on it. It's got the numbers on it. It's really hard to see because they're small, but you can see the 10, 11, 12 there. But you just line it up and kind of put it where you want, you know, in correspondence with the brass piece on there, the pen. But put an 18650 in here, and now I can use a kick. So I'm probably going to take this other extender ring off and put it on here. Make sure this is zoomed back out. Okay. And then I have ground down, or sanded off the copper, or the chrome plating, sorry, that was on this brass pin. Helped out with the conductivity a little bit, and I'll go through that a little bit more in detail. What I gotta do is set it in there, and you take this little spring, pop the spring, and it'll fall right back down in there. Okay? It's not 100% standing up straight, but as you get it together, it'll line up and it'll work out pretty good. They'll probably have it turned down. I don't use this a whole lot. I don't have any regulated devices other than this kick. I'm a mech user, kind of like sub-ohms and stuff like that. I'm looking to get a regulated device before too long. But that is it with the extension ring, a kick, and an iClear 30S. So, I mean, it's pretty damn big once you get all that together. But, I mean, you can go all the way down to a 350 in a kick. I just like really long battery life. And I work at a vape shop too, so, you know, it's kind of an attractive piece for some people. And we carry it, so I just show it off to people on there. All right, let me take this thing apart. We'll go over all the stuff that I've done to it, you know, any of the wear and tear that I've got on it. I've had this for a little while. I haven't had it for an extremely long period of time, but when I first got it, I used it exclusively. But then I got more sub-ohm type stuff, and I didn't really like how it worked with sub-ohming. It's not bad by any means. The switch gets a little warm, and that's just because of how small the contact point is in it. As long as it's not getting like really hot, you don't have a short, you know, check it with an ohm meter, all that stuff before y'all, you know, put it all the way together, and it'll work out. All right, so let's start from the bottom and work our way back up, okay? Seems like a lot of parts, but in reality, I actually have an extra extension tube, so we'll set that off to the side. All right, so on the bottom, you have, this is the post where the pin makes contact, and then a spring on the top. I have sanded off all of the chrome plating on that pin to help out with the negative side, like I did on the top for the positive side. On the bottom of it, there is some wear from just setting it upright, using it. Kind of tend to keep my pinky on the bottom of it sometimes. It just, you know, chrome plating is going to wear out over time. I'm sure you could probably buff that out with a cloth or something like that. I think you probably could. And then we'll go to the bottom section here. It has a locking ring on it. And on the inside of that pin, on the very inside, I have taken off the chrome plating on that as well. So it makes pretty good contact with this part. And that might be why it warms up a little bit more too sometimes. It's got a little bit better conductivity as it did when I got it. I've actually changed it quite a bit, I think, with performance-wise. So you just put that on there, and it's makes contact when you press the button in, and that's what gives you the completion of the circuit, makes it work. Next, put in the telescopic tube. It does have one dent, one small dent on it, and then there's some just general scratches. It's covered in fingerprints right now. It is a fingerprint magnet by far. But that's the only real dent that I have in it. I'll put this tube on there. And then this is the extra extension tube that I have. Actually, I'm going to put the extra one on the bottom, because I'm going to put it back together in 18650 with the kick. Put this one on the bottom. The threads aren't too bad. I haven't had them wear down or anything over time. I have another mod that does do that. The threads are getting weaker on it, but it's also aluminum, and it was a fairly cheap device. Put our battery in there. Go ahead and make sure I got my kick set where I want it. It's about right where I want it. Set it up and drop that in there. And then, like I said, on the top, I did take the chrome off of that. It makes fairly good conductivity. I think it works pretty good, but now it doesn't really matter to me because I use it with the kick anyway. That's just, I mean, that's my preferred method on using this device, because I've got other ones that I run sub-ohm on and all that good stuff. The top does have air slots cut into it, and it is a flush fit. I'll show you by putting the iClear 30S back on it. Bought one of these at the shop that I work at just to see how good they work. I've never used an iClear before this one, but it's not bad. But yeah, it is pretty beastly once you put everything in it and you've got the extra pieces on it and all that. It's actually firing. You didn't really see the vapor, but yeah, it works. iClear 30S's, they're not too bad either. They're not my favorite because I'm used to dripping, but that's it. Just some general use on it. I haven't been brave enough to take the plating off the inside of the 510. It only has a 510. It's got a pretty deep drip well, but it does not have ego threading on it. An adapter works just fine, and it's not too bad if you use an adapter. But yeah, I hope that helps out, and I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.